Welcome to the Mufasa book reading. My name is Julia, and we are reading from Dr. Tineka Walfer's book, Authentic Leadership Effectiveness. Enjoy. Chapter 9. Authentic Leadership Program Effect, High-Level Case Studies. This chapter focuses on 3 high-level case studies. Each case study has a different focus on the effect of development of authentic leadership. These case studies took place in various different breweries that form part of an international beverage organization. The first case study focuses on the initial development of authentic leadership within only the leader of an executive team, followed by the collective authentic leadership development of his executive team as a whole, and the impact thereof on trust, individual and team leadership effectiveness, and very importantly, the business results of the brewery. The second case study focuses on an individual leader that participated in the individual and team authentic leadership program, and her initial challenges with the notion that authentic leadership and political acumen are dialectically opposed. It exposes how she eventually found a way of marrying the two constructs, and in doing so, enhanced her leadership effectiveness considerably. Finally, the third case explores authentic leadership, effectiveness, sustainability, and considers suggestions from the field for sustaining individual and team authentic leadership effectiveness, especially when the team undergoes changes. In the example offered, the team lost its leader who was promoted. Not only did the leader need to consider how to sustain his individual authentic leadership effectiveness in his new context, his original team collectively had to do the same by incorporating their new leader into their way of work. Case study 1. Effect of authentic leadership effectiveness on business results. In 2014, this general manager, identified as John, embarked on an individual and team authentic leadership effectiveness program. John personally contracted for individual authentic leadership effectiveness development as he was experiencing leadership challenges. Halfway through the program, he included his team, and we had a further 3 two-day team sessions to develop team authentic leadership effectiveness. The following is the interview I had with John a little over 2 years later, which highlights the increase not only in his individual authentic leadership effectiveness, but also in that of his executive team as a whole. It further highlights the considerable return on investment that his organization experienced because of the work that was done during the individual and collective authentic leadership effectiveness journey. When John initially approached me, his organization's balanced scorecard targets were mostly in red. And a year later, almost all of their stretch targets were reflected in green. John was promoted within a year. Question 1. What made you decide to embark on the individual and team authentic leadership program, John? At a stage, I had a sense that specifically in my business unit, I was becoming harder and harder on the guys to achieve their numbers. For some reason, we didn't really get momentum on the KPIs and the business performance. The team started to become more and more negative around numerous other peripheral issues. I didn't see it as critical, but when my new director arrived from outside and he spent time with us, he said, "There's something wrong here. The team's vibe is very negative. They don't react well to your leadership, John." And although you guys are really serious about doing better, your numbers are not getting better. They are all stagnant. I needed to do something to first, from my behavior, take initiative and change things, and then get the whole organization ultimately to follow. That is when I contacted you. I won't be reading all the questions, so I'll be just moving to the second case study. Case study 2, development of authentic leadership, political acumen. In 2012, Venya embarked on my individual and team authentic leadership effectiveness program. She was moved from a specialist position to her current leadership position in 2014, where she inherited 9 direct reports and a team of about 70 members. In 2015, her team had the highest rating out of 6 to 7 teams in her brewery. One of her main challenges in her new position was organizational politics. In 2015, she contracted for additional individual authentic leadership effectiveness sessions. The following responses from Vanya during conversational interview pertain to authentic leadership and political acumen, and it explores the difference between inauthentic and authentic leadership political acumen. Tineke, I would like to explore with you the relationship between authentic leadership and political acumen, also called political savvy. I'm specifically interested in that link. At face value, anyone would think that these two constructs are diametrically opposed, meaning that they would never really sit side by side. In your case, endeavoring always to be very true to yourself with a strong moral underpinning in all that you do, you were initially very opposed to the idea of incorporating political acumen in your everyday dealings. The closest you might have gotten to it in 2012 was to try put on, if you remember, a poker face during executive meetings while at times boiling inside. Question 1. Please tell me more about your previous thoughts as an authentic leader on organizational politics and on acquiring the skills of political acumen. Vanya. Yes, I believe that you would have moved up in an organization and you would be respected based on your performance, and that one didn't have to brown nose or have any political savvy when I referred to political savvy at that time. I thought of it as political correctness. Tineke, what did that mean for you? Political correctness. Political correctness for me meant that you would not put the elephant on the table, that you would avoid the issues, avoid the conflict situations, and rather keep quiet. I was absolutely against being politically correct because you did not highlight the real issues and move forward. And that was so not in my nature. I frowned upon political correctness, and I believe that performance was the only thing that matters. The different levels in organization do make you change the way you look at life and the way you look at political savvy. When you are at your lower levels, you are protected from higher levels of management when they know you are a hard worker. They will not upset you and will not let you perform. So you are allowed to behave in a certain way or not have to be politically correct. Case study 3, how to sustain individual and team authentic leadership effectiveness. 2 years later, after John and his team commenced with the authentic leadership effectiveness journey, John was promoted to manage a larger brewery, and his original team received a new leader. The following responses from John pertain to aspects of sustaining individual and collective authentic leadership effectiveness in times of change, with suggestions of how to ensure that authentic leadership effectiveness remains in place. Question 1. How well have you managed to maintain your individual authentic leadership effectiveness since moving to your new and bigger brewery a few months ago? John. I'm not happy. I think where an authentic leadership, I would give myself a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Towards the end of my time at the previous brewery, I think I am at a 5 now. I definitely have work to do. And even as I talk today, I'm sporting things I need to become stronger on. However, if I think of how I previously would enter a new business or go through change, I would typically arrive at the new business and be at the level of maximum 2. And in the first couple of months, really not be effective and be extremely stressed and anxious. I'm at a 5 now, and I can within the next 6 to 9 months progress to 7 or 8 again. I'm just thinking how I can again involve more leaders. So it's not a thing that I do and hope it rubs off, but how I do actually pass it on the other people again. Tineke, what am I hearing is that you have moved to a new environment. Everything is different. Your team is different. It is a bigger and more challenging brewery, and you have lost some of that effectiveness for good reason. I'm also hearing that you have what you need in your authentic leadership effectiveness toolbox to get yourself back on track again within the next 6 to 9 months. John. Yes, definitely. I can now spot where there are trust issues in the team, and I can actually write down what the limiting beliefs I have about the people who are reporting to me and start change these to empowering beliefs. These two I still have. I still stretch my mind and I can apply them again. Thank you so much for joining us in today's book reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to your family and friends. Bye.